Okay, says we're live. As you can tell, it's only me tonight. Olivia's not feeling well. She's over there laying on the other couch. Yeah, she don't have coronavirus or anything. She's had a cervical biopsy and has ammonia and all that. But, but hopefully she'll be better tomorrow and then the next day. She got to take antibiotics for what, a week? Yeah, she had IVs and everything Friday because she went to the hospital. This one will probably be a little short, kind of. I was going to put some questions together, but with her issue earlier this week, and I've been doing work's been a little hectic, and then I've been doing double duty today. So, um, nobody, I was trying to get somebody to reach out to me about, to see if maybe somebody that had pledged to a frat in Huntington, and I never got any response to that, sadly. So, I'm not sure exactly what I'm like. I don't know. I didn't go to college. The only college experience I have was working with the Marshall Paranormal team years ago. So, hold on a second. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to discuss, hopefully, we'll have another video next Saturday, and we'll go more with some other stuff going on. And hopefully, like I said, she'll be better off. She's supposed to have surgery in May, as long as everything goes all right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. If you notice, I'm drinking, but it's just smearing off green apple. I love green apple flavor. I'm not much of a drinker. Okay. Now, kind of when we talked about um, how he was and stuff with his family, because when we mentioned, I can't remember if it was the last video or the one before that where we mentioned about where he had opened up the, I think it was the first video, where he had opened up the Snapchat that his sister sent him. But like she always talked about like when are you going to the gym, what machines are you using, how long you've worked out, uh, how much stuff did you do. So basically, he was very supportive in that nature. So it is kind of, well, it's not kind of, it is extremely odd why he didn't, respond to that. I think exactly when it was. Uh, As a 6:53, it was open but no response, is what the exact time was. So basically, he would have been a good, sport and everything with the gym. Um, this is going off of the lead news because it's some of the notes and stuff. Because I need to go in a lot of the other stuff. I've been doing a little bit of it and kind of got pushed back with work and everything else. But so far, though, I don't think my work schedule is going to be too bad. That's a plus. Okay. But she talked about, they were always, like I said, in contact on Snapchat. And about 3:30 p.m. that day, so she talked to him earlier, and then at 6:35 is when she's what I just said about sending the photo that she was at the gym, and she said that he would usually send something back that was supportive, but not that time. And she didn't hear back from him, and yes, she thought it was odd because he always replied, especially when it came to the gym. So basically, what I said of the whole, he's very supportive of that nature. Um, let's see. And basically talks about, the photo was opened, no response, and about how she thought it was odd and rude that he wouldn't answer her. And, because she said he always did without fail. So the question is there, why would he open it and not respond? One theory that she had was maybe he's not the one that opened the message. And his phone, as we know, was turned off right. Uh, his phone was turned between on this was between six. Okay, yeah, open at 6:35. So, um, basically, like I said, numbers adding up. Which I'm like I said, I'm still not familiar with Snapchat. I've not personally done it, so we go like for saying that his roommates and the boys with whom he was playing video games with on the day he died were Alpha Sig members. I'm not like I said, I'm not sure with the fraternities and everything. I've walked by them, drove by them in Huntington, but that's about as far as I've done. And basically, as a title of this and of the event and everything of this video, no one in his immediate family knew if he did actually pledge to that. Um, he told him that he wasn't really interested in joining it, but all of his friends were, fraternity members there, and one of his roommates was the president of the fraternity, so he might have finally gave in to it. But his mom said, she'll be very, very surprised if that turns out to be the truth. But she said, he was growing up making his own decisions, but she don't know if he made that decision on the day he died, though. The one friend that he was at the house with, and the classmate, he did not say anything when he had visited the funeral, or he didn't, or had basically said nothing about it. So that kind of makes me wonder: was there a chance that he might have pledged? Because I know they're talking about the crap. What is that term? I am sorry. I am so lost right now. Was it hazing or whatever? So I'm kind of wondering, could like, because I know in like the movies you always see them doing like various things and stuff, like run through like, well, in the movies it's always like a comedy where they're doing a bunch of dumb stuff and they have to do it, and if they do it, then they'll eventually get pledged. Like I'm not sure how it actually goes in real life, but I'm assuming it could be about the same. Um, so I'm kind of wondering if something like that went wrong and maybe he actually did die at the house and then they took him to the bridge and all that. That's kind of what I'm going with that. Like I said, just smoking a bowl of weed is not going to do, I would think, anything like what we talked about in the last video. I really don't see that happening like to that extent. I like he's not going to act that way. I personally don't feel that. Um, but he had found out, which I'm like I said, I'm not familiar with this. I'm assuming it still goes on because it's his freshman year, so I'm not sure how long, but it's been going on. But I'd say for a while. It's probably with where Marshall's been there for a long time. But there are bars in Huntington where you could get a special card, and those bars will allow you to drink if you're pledging the right fraternity. And basically, the sisters are talking about even if you're underage, they will give you these cards. And he did have one, and he told them that he only uses to go to that bar, that he was never really going to pledge to that frat. So, I was talking to his mom, reading stuff like this, I don't see him to be the type that would, excuse me, I don't see him being the type that's going to, really hide things. I know we've talked about it. Like, they're very a close, excuse me again, they're a very close knit family. And, like they have a good relationship that most families need, basically the open door, you know, nothing's off the table. Come to us, talk, all that. That's a perfect way to go. And I really see it like I don't see like it would surprise me if he was hiding this from him. Yes, that's what I'm thinking is that something's went wrong and they've done everything to cover it up. So that's a very good point. And that's kind of like I said, you got to look at every angle, like whether if he did actually commit suicide or if he didn't. Like you still have to have, even if it's a small percentage, you still have to have that. But with it still being an open investigation, still kind of makes you wonder with it already being, well, crap, August is not that far away because we're already almost in April. Um, it talks about, once his personal belongings were collected from his apartment and his car, his mom found a new card for another place as a pub and grill, but it had no name or organization listed. And the question that his family had is whether the new car was another gift or was it earned somehow this time. And his sister talked about don't know if he had to do something for it. He maybe did. I don't know if he had to do something his freshman year to get that card. He's actually if he had just had to been interested in pledging to get it, which I could kind of see that. Like I don't know how this all works with that. That's why I was hoping somebody would reach out to me, and hopefully I'll eventually get somebody. Because I was in some Huntington groups, and I got a lot of information for the Leah Hickman, but then people got all, I guess, mad over it and stuff, and said that wasn't for that purpose. So I basically got booted out of that group for that purpose. So basically, just trying to share information, get people talking. So I could see that being the easy way. Freshman year, hey, I'm interested in a frat, interested in joining. I could see them giving you a card, especially if they think you're legit, possibly interested. Then sophomore year, she says nothing they talked about. So did he actually do something to join, or was he still talking about joining? All right, thank you. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully, I'm trying to think. I was in one or two Huntington groups. Like I said, the people in there were, a lot of stuff on Leah Hickman's case. Like they really, really helped me out, and I got a lot of likes and stuff towards that. Well, for our page and all that. So it's kind of like I said after, which there was a few negative people in there. Um, One thing that I'm going to mention too, I thought was interesting. His freshman year, he had a card that says for Jake's, but it's closed down. I'm not sure of all the bars in Huntington. I know of well, there used to be Shamrocks. I done a paranormal investigation there a long time ago. I think uh, crap, that was probably 8 years ago. Probably it was a long time ago. I know that was like right by the stadium. But he had a couple of cards in his wallet from a place called is it Premium Pub and Grill? And one of his roommates, the guy that was at the house, he was a bouncer at that place. Um, and basically what I was talking about earlier about him not being a secretive person, hiding stuff, and they would be surprised too if he actually did hide that from them. Like I don't see, like I said, that would really, really surprise me. There's still a chance that he might have done that, but I really, really don't see it. So I really just don't see that. Which we know, there are drugs in Huntington, which they're everywhere. Um, I know we talked about in this last episode of maybe something that was laced, but you would think my thing is, if you think of it as Lace, they all would have had a reaction to it. And the only thing I could see maybe if they done something to his, but if they were all well, we don't like we're going off by their story. Because what if they, maybe did smoke, but maybe they had a separate thing for him? What are you shaking your head at? You know what I mean? No, like doing like their own thing, and then but I wouldn't see it all be together. Well, you know how. Well, I'm talking about like how people like slip some people's drink with them not knowing. But I don't think that would be the only way they would do that if it was like a pledging type thing. I would think if they're giving him something different and they're not actually doing it themselves, but according to them, they all just done that. Like it's just not, because they were saying, he would not do anything like that. Like I've never done anything, so so if him for them saying, he would not have done anything and without him knowing it, but where the toxicology report, that was just marijuana, and then the second one, nothing else was on it. Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. But I just don't know. Like I said, I would wish I could get some information, which I'm assuming would the females be like the same thing. But I know in the movies, like the men stuff are always like really vulgar and stuff. Like I know I went to school with some people that I think was in some frats, like, but I'm not sure exactly. I have to. That'd be something I'll try to work on this week. But even if they just smoked a bowl, maybe they could have done something else that possibly could have been part of a pledge. Which wasn't if all these was all of them a part of the same pledge or just the one guy? I'd have to go back over that. That'd make things interesting if it actually wasn't that case. But I'm assuming they all were because yeah, it mentions about them being in it. I'm assuming all the other guys were all in it. But I don't know. Just it just makes it seem weird. Sorry if I seem kind of off today. I'm tired. Um, I really I don't know. I'm just really kind of lost for words on that. That's what they were kind of mentioning, like with the whole drug thing. Like, he worked out all the time, so he wouldn't do anything like that to his body, which I definitely can see that. Um, I don't know. Like, it's got to be something like because according to them, which we've talked about this story, it's just them playing video games, smoked a bowl. He started going, just acted different. Something changed. Like that, just it's more to me kind of like a story they came up with all together. Like if all of them have repeated this, it's like something that they basically made up, so they're all just following the same story and nothing's changed. But the way it looks, most of this is just kind of like I don't think any of them have really talked about it besides here and there maybe. Like I said, just in the last video, we were talking about the whole, 15 minutes, all we had to go look for him. And if I remember correctly, I don't think it took that long from where he was at to go to his place. It would not have taken that long. I think it was only like a mile or so away when I looked it up and shared that one picture. That's like the bridge is way, way out of the way. So I that's what's kind of interesting. Um, one thing I was looking at, um, his mom had sent me a, I guess the group was a chat room, and they're talking about basically from 5 o'clock. So 6 o'clock about playing Madden, which it's got other stuff in there, but I noticed it goes from basically 6:06. I'll come over in a bit and spank somebody at Madden. To 6:07, I doubt it was this guy's response. And 6:53, the guy says, "Be over in 30." That about fucking Towers has sushi as well, and another guy says, "Was it good?" And then it goes, "I haven't tried it yet. I'll eat it at 6:24," and this was at 7:02 p.m. Um, because looking at if his location on this that it's turned off between 6 and 6:30, that's what kind of makes it, I don't know, weird because they didn't respond. From 6:07 to 6:53. That's the whole entire time. Nobody that had said anything in that group. So it's weird that nothing was going on, which it could just be a coincidence. And then you're looking at from 7:02 to 10:45. Nothing was said. And it was the same guy, saying, he said, "Did y'all find anything about the wreck yet?" I don't know. It's just weird. Because saying 6:53 posted I-64 between the 8th and low marker for the interstate will be closed due to an incident. It could be some time for the eastbound lane to reopen. Please find an alternative route. So at 6:53, and they responded like the dude saying, "I'll be over in 30" about the sushi at 6:53. Like, I honestly don't. That's because you're looking at from 5:04, which I'm probably looking too into this, but from 5:04, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So in almost an hour, they have 25 messages. It goes from 5:04, 5:05, 5:06, 5:06, 5:07, 5:10, 5:10, 5:11, 5:17, 19, 20, 23, 24, 24, 24, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 48, 48, 49, then 6:06 and 6:07. Which maybe his response, I doubt it, but you would think that's kind of smack talk him. That dude's saying, "I'll come over and spank you," and then bam, I doubt it. You think he would say something else, but he didn't. He ends up just saying, "I'll be over in 30," you know, at 6:53. I don't know. Okay. Did you say they said Towers has sushi? Sorry if that's a crazy question. I'm tired of my brain crazy right now. I'm just wondering if that's what was said. Was they mean the Twin Towers at Markle? I'm I'm not sure, but I think that's what it says is fucking Towers has sushi. So if that's the case, I would assume Marshall Towers. But if it's a Tower stores, because that's in Barbersville. What's the Tower store in Barbersville? Do they actually have food? Barbersville. Hold on, it's got a message on the page. I don't think it has anything to do with this. Eh. Oh, okay. Okay, it actually goes with his case, but it's a thing I'm gonna probably save for the next video because I need to go over it more. And it's very. It was posted in the group too the other day, but a lady had actually shared it in the Huntington, West Virginia 911 group. That's probably. I think that was one of the groups I was in actually. So okay, his mom just messaged me and said 624 was at Colby's apartment. That was a different group of guys. Okay, so he wasn't at that apartment. Okay. So this was a different group of guys. He was at the other apartment. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay, it's a food fair now, but it used to be called Towers for years. The sign still says Towers Food Fair on the receipts. It's right beside the Choo Kroger. And yes, they have a spot inside there, has beside the deli. Has sushi. Okay, that's so it might not. So basically, it don't matter now. I would assume. Wait, is there more to that? Okay, hopefully with that lady posting that in the group, that will be good. If saying that just 624, just with just the apartment number, I guess. But trying to think. Yeah, I'm not sure of that place though in the food fair. Well, it's a food fair now. Mhm. Well, one thing I want to mention, it talked about that he had seen his family and stuff, people in his family struggle with addiction. I can relate because, like I said, I'm drinking now, but like I said, I'm not a drinker. I've literally never been drunk in my life or anything. But my dad was an alcoholic, and that's kind of what my mindset was when I got older was that I would never become like that. So I could see, if he had witnessed it himself, I could see why he would not want to do anything like that. So from everything I've seen, from the plans he had, he went to school that day, the classes, what's the two classes, gym, hung out with friends, had plans for the weekend with a girl. Like it really like unless he's a really good hider, like I don't see like he don't seem really anywhere nothing fits to where that he would be really wanting to do anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it just makes it I don't know, like looking at all this, it's like to me personally, it's like there's one little thing out there that can just blow this all up, whether it be something that he like I really don't see him hiding stuff though. Like that's what like it's easy to say, be like, hey, he hid this away from everybody, but it could be the case, but it don't seem to be that case here. Like I really don't feel that. So I'm kind of uh, hopefully I can find out more on like because the card thing actually does kind of so basically kind of see that's something we'll have to look into because he's saying interested in freshman year, second year, don't know. So I wonder how it would go junior, senior because if the first year is just if you're interested into it. I wonder if it second year you'd have to play it. You couldn't just say you're interested. I wouldn't think. But what do I know though? Like I said, next video. Um, I plan like I said, her being better, and I'll try to get some stuff lined up. If you guys have any questions, send them in. You can message me the page, or excuse me, or ask in the group. And if it's something you want us to answer, then we can answer. If not, I'll send it to his mom and get something rolling. Like I said, nothing like I said. I can run so many theories in my head, but like if you want to go one way, that don't add up. If you want to go another way, it don't add up. Like there's always like each one, there's something it seems like missing in it, like that makes it not add up and make sense. But I was going to like I'm not going to go into it now, but I'm really interested in something that I'm going to discuss in the next video, and it's over the dispatch and stuff. See, that's what those are. Okay, I believe that's going to be it tonight. Like I said, hopefully, I'm used to her being here with me, so I ramble on a lot. I always do. I don't mean to. I just kind of do. I ramble a lot, and sometimes I just I kind of lost train of thought there for a minute. I ramble on a lot about nothing, and I need to actually kind of speak before I actually process it. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to try to learn some more about the pledging, and hopefully, the lady that posted in that group, be nice if she gets some interesting feedback, and I could get something going. What was the lady's? Ah, okay, the one that just actually commented on the live chat. You're the one that posted in the Huntington group. That's really good. Yeah, if you do hear anything, let me know if you don't mind. Okay, before I go, yeah, his mom said about is the 624 because that's their address in the group. That was at the boys' house. And Colby was on 8th over on 8th Street. All they didn't find out until 10 p.m. So it was still odd that they all stopped talking at the time. It is odd. That's what I. It's odd. Like I said, to have that many, it seemed like to be basically back to back to back to back with not right then and there. Some of them a few minutes, but not an hour. That just didn't seem. But like I said, I thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I'll get some stuff hopefully gathered this week as long as nothing changes. Like I said, she's doing better today, so hopefully she'll improve more tomorrow and then as the days process. And hopefully get some people talking. So I thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you, like I said, hopefully next week. I'll keep you all updated because I usually try to wait to Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly make the event because I kind of know more of what's going on, if what I'm able to do and stuff on the weekends. So, like I said, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.